Awesome, we're live. Well, welcome everyone to a new Hint partnership announcement. We're really excited to be here today with Adam Bragg and Monica McKitterick. Um, I'm Alex George. I'm the head of marketing here at Hint, lead up some of our partnership work. And today we're going to be just diving into this new embedded partnership and learn a little bit more about this tech-enabled solution over at Quickr. Just some housekeeping items as we get started. Please engage, ask questions, comment. This is all about making the two-way conversation and talking through things. So don't feel free to interrupt any time, and we'll just jump right in and answer those questions for you. But to get started here, let me go ahead and introduce Adam Bragg. He's the co-founder of Quickr, and Monica McKitterick. She's an owner, practicing clinician of Impact Family Wellness, and also a co-creator of Quickr. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Super excited.
Yeah. You want to give us a quick background on yourself, Adam?
Yeah, so I am an entrepreneur and I founded Quickr. It's an EHR. We're dedicated to creating a health record that cares. I met up with my co-founder, Ian Cash, who a little background on him. He was paralyzed from the neck down for 4 or 5 years in his high school years. And, he sort of relied on his mom quite a bit during that time as his health guardian. And so as we were thinking about building in healthcare and specifically for DPC, we saw how DPC providers are those health guardians for their patients, but they don't have the tools and the tech to be able to make that happen. So, we started building a year and a half ago with Monica, and here we are today.
Awesome. Monica, tell us a little bit about your story.
Sure. So I'm a family nurse practitioner, have been for 15 years now. I worked in the insurance-based healthcare system for 10 years and was relocating and trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And a Facebook ad led me to direct primary care. So I opened my practice a little over 4.5 years ago, and have grown it to 2 locations and 5 providers and about 1,300 patients at this point. And we love what we do, but it gets difficult with all the different softwares. And so when I initially met Ian, he said, "So what's your problem? Like, what can we fix for you?" And I was like, "Fix the fact that I have 12 systems to do my job." And so we talked through it, and it kind of is how Quickr was born. And so here we are, a year and a half later, killing it. So yeah, it's been quite the ride because I know nothing about software, but I'm really good at taking care of patients and figured out this DPC thing. So between myself and Adam and Ian and their team, it's been fun. It's been good. So
Awesome. Well, congrats on the success. Love to hear it, and are excited to learn more about Quickr. For anyone who's not so familiar with kind of Hint's partnership platform, basically what we do is we built out an ecosystem of different partners. They range kind of across the board, but there's really 4 different types that we work with. So we have marketing partners. Those are people and organizations that really support the DPC and direct care mission, and that we align ourselves with in order to co-promote and help kind of spread the word and offer cool solutions for our customers and our network. Then we have integration partners, those who kind of are a step further and we integrate deeply with. Many of those are EHRs, but they can also be business solutions and business services, CRMs, things of that nature. And then we have our embedded partners. Embedded partners are some of those EHRs, EMRs specifically, that are able to embed Hint into their actual platform. And as part of that, they're able to actually sell Hint when they're selling their software. So Quickr is one of those embedded partners, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is embedded partnership with them, and also get a quick look at their extension platform, which they built out that helps connect a few different applications in the DPC ecosystem. Why we chose to work with a group like Quickr is super important, right? They're very, as you can hear, the team is really dedicated to DPC, and that's super important to us. Their technology is slick. It works. It feels good. It's easy on the eyes, which is super important as we continue to layer in all these technologies, and it really reduces the clicks for providers. And it's fully integrated with Hint Core, which is huge. We want to make sure that we're kind of supporting our greater ecosystem and growing the DPC space. So this is a way that we can kind of give back to the space and also ensure that our customers that are using Quickr are able to integrate deeply with Hint on that forward. So a little bit more about the embedded partner program. Again, it's all about kind of supporting that broader DPC ecosystem and making sure that we have a healthier ecosystem out there. The idea there is that you pay for one software fee. In this case, you'd be paying for that that Quickr EHR software fee, and you'd have access to Hint's core partner tier platform. That's going to be just like our base level pricing on transaction fees only included into that. And really just gives you the opportunity to get in, get your practice going. And you can always grow within Hint as well and upgrade in the future. But really the idea is to put you on a platform that helps you be successful. So happy to share a little bit more about that if folks have questions. And we can jump right into the Quickr story a little bit more about the mission and kind of the product.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're really dedicated to DPC. Our sort of slogan is less EHRing, more smiling. And we saw this need when we came into Monica's clinic, where she had this big flat screen TV and she had a bunch of different systems that she was running and clicking back and forth between. And we thought this was a mess. DPC is so much about communication, heavy communication back and forth. And the EHRs that exist today are really more designed like filing cabinets. And we thought, we can build a system that combines all of this functionality, charting, documentation, communication, scheduling, and then we're able to layer on top of that task management, automations, and really make the job easier for these incredible providers as they do their job and communicate with patients all day long. So we started out with a pretty simple Chrome extension that just opened up and put the same systems in one screen. We'll show you that in a little bit, but then we went full on to build this EHR. We've been co-creating it with Monica and a ton of other provider feedback so that we can make sure all of the functionality is in place and that it actually saves a ton of clicks.
Cool. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the extension. I know that's something that's folks on our side are super interested to hear about and see. So who does the extension connect? What does it do?
Yeah, so it connects Elation, Spruce, and Hint. That's a common trio. That's one that Monica had been using. And oftentimes what we see is they're on Elation and they're on a patient's chart and they're needing to go back and reference the chat on Spruce, or they're looking to do something in Hint. And so they're having to click back and forth and use all of and type in names. And it just, every single one of those clicks takes 5-10 seconds of their time. It delays their actual sort of providing a value to their patients. And so we just open up a quick iframe on the side that allows that provider to quickly reference that other patient. So I'll let Monica talk a little bit more about her experience with the extension.
Yeah, I will tell you, this extension is life-changing. If Adam broke it once and I almost flew to California to be like, fix this thing right now. It's a game changer, I'm here to tell you. So if you are a provider using Elation and Spruce, you know how cumbersome it is to get a patient's lab values and then have to go into Spruce so that you can find the patient and then communicate with them. And vice versa, when a patient sends you a message on Spruce and then you have to get to their chart, but you have to click over to Elation and then you have to pull up their chart. So I have a 43-inch TV monitor as my screen, like my computer just dongles into it. And so I'm constantly going between those two, but there's errors that happen, right? If I type the wrong name or I click on the wrong thing, then I'm on the wrong patient and then I could send in a prescription for the wrong person. And so it's just annoying to have to do that back and forth. And so when I initially met the Quickr guys, I was like, I have these 3 softwares, Spruce, Elation, and Hint, right? If you could just put them all together, that's what I need. But we quickly realized that of the 3 softwares, Hint was the least of all evils, right? Like Hint works really well. It's like having an extra employee, right? There's so many things that Hint does that are phenomenal. So I was like, listen, you could recreate Hint, but just recreate Hint how it is and put it with these other 2 platforms. And they're like, well, why don't we just create the other 2 platforms together? Which is how Quickr started, but then that takes a long time. And so the guys kind of gave me a Band-Aid to fix the problem in the meantime, which makes me not ever use my iPad anymore because the extension doesn't work on my iPad. And so I just can't deal with it. I don't know how to function anymore without that extension. It has literally changed the way that I practice and saves me more time than any other piece of software ever. So I'm very thankful to these lovely gentlemen for this.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think we had a good question that came up. So what software does it replace? And as I understand it, right, and I'll kind of go after it first, but there's actually two products with Quickr that we're going to talk about today. The first one is this extension. So Adam, if you wanna pull it up and walk through it, it's actually a supplement to the existing softwares that you use. So if you're using Spruce, Elation, and Hint all together, this would supplement the work that you're doing. And Adam, go ahead and let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is probably familiar for all of the users of Elation. It's a patient's chart, and usually you'd have to go and click over into a new tab to open up the Spruce chat, type in the name, find that. Or if you're on Spruce, you'd have to open up, type in the name. It just is. It's a process that happens over and over throughout the day, as Monica referenced earlier. But it just takes a lot of time. So instead of going on to a new tab, I would quickly just open up this side panel, and Adam, my chat opens up on the right-hand side here. So anytime that, and also you're over here in Spruce, you're on somebody's chat, it's mine. I open up the right-hand side, and it pulls open automatically that patient's chart. And so it just saves a ton of time clicking back and forth between those. So that's the first part of that answer. The extension specifically works with people who use Elation, Spruce, and Hint.
Cool. And what are some of the things you can just access? Basically, you're just accessing the chart with Elation right in the Spruce app, and vice versa?
Yep, exactly. So instead of, it recognizes whose chart you're on, opens up the side panel, and it recognizes who, and it matches the chat and pulls it up automatically on the right-hand side. So we sort of
chat from there, right?
Yeah, you can chat from here. You can chart on the left-hand side. A lot of I think Monica referenced this. You know, to refill prescriptions, follow up on items over here on the right-hand side. You can act on both of these screens. So it's putting all of the information in the same place, which is kind of how the EHR was born. And to answer that question on the EHR side, we actually go full on and replace the documentation charting from Elation and Spruce. So it's like if you're using our EHR, everything's in the same place. I'll just quickly reference this over here. This is what our EHR looks like. We've got the patient list, you've got the chronological record up here, patient information, all of your communications here, SMS, secure, and then the aux tab over here on the right-hand side where you chart. And we're fully integrated with Hint. So you'd click this and it would open up on the right-hand side to that Hint patient right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
What I find super helpful with that extension is, especially when a patient's like, hey, I need a refill sent to this pharmacy. Like, it's really hard for me to remember the patient's name, what their prescription was, and what pharmacy they need to do. When I can just have it in a split screen, it just makes it so much easier to go back and forth as opposed to like going back. And then it never fails. A patient sends you a message, you respond to it with, hey, can you verify the pharmacy? But now you're no longer on their chart because they respond to you 20 minutes later and you've moved on to that. So now you have to go back to Elation and type in their name again. And you're constantly typing people's stuff in over and over. And so not only does it save me time, but it also, I think, saves me a lot of errors and having to do things twice because it automatically just pulls that patient's chart up.
Great. And so before we jump over to a little bit more in-depth talk around the EHR, how can people get the extension? What's the process for that?
Yeah, so they can go to quickr.health/Monica. That's the name of the extension. She's saving you a ton of time every time you click. And you just click on that on the download button. You'll download it from the Google Chrome store. And then you'll create an account. You'll get a 14-day free trial. And we'll connect with you after that and see how much time you're saving. We estimate it to be about 30 to 45 seconds every time someone clicks. And we're seeing people save hours every day.
Wow,
it will change your life.
Cool.
I promise.
And what's the cost? Is it monthly, annual? How do they price it?
Yeah, so it's a monthly fee. Right now, it's at $20 per month per user, and we like working with DPC providers. So we oftentimes, if they're a growing clinic, will give them a discount just as they grow.
Awesome, great, cool. So jumping over to the EHR now, talk a little bit more about how that came to be. We talked a little bit about Monica had this vision of bringing everything together in one place, but the team's been working on it now for a little over a year, and we're getting ready to bring it to market. Is that right? Yeah,
we launched actually at the Hint Summit when we announced the embedded partnership deal, and we saw how much time providers were saving using Elation and Spruce with the extension. And we thought, well, that's like Monica said, a Band-Aid where you're still having data in two different systems, and that compounds as you add systems on top of it. You layer on task management, you layer on intake forms, and then you know, with Hint as well, you're bouncing back and forth between a ton of different systems. With data being in all of those different systems, it's siloed. And so we thought, well, why don't we go a lot deeper and build something that actually assumes all of those features, do it ourselves, so that the data can be more easily worked on by the provider all in one place.
Awesome, great. And yeah, and so how it works, in addition, for folks who aren't as familiar with kind of that Hint to EHR, Hint to Quickr integration, effectively what happens is, as people are enrolling into your practice and they're going through that Hint enrollment form, as soon as they hit submit with that information, it's pushing that information now from Hint into Quickr and creating that profile for them. So there's an automation that happens on the front end. Then as things are happening and interactions are taking place within Quickr, we're able to pull those charges down into Hint and add it to the monthly bill or whatever it may be as needed for that specific practice. So the integration is very, very strong, and the ability for folks to be able to just purchase Quickr and have Hint embedded directly into their experience is awesome. It's great for startups. It's a great solution. One thing that we joke a little bit about, right? There's a lot of different EHRs that are out there today, and ultimately it comes down to what your flavor is. Like, what is it that you love about it? So how would you describe the Quickr flavor? What is that? Are you working with like a chocolate raspberry, or like, talk to me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, this is for any DPC provider who really wants to not be frustrated with their software and smile more often as they interact with their patients. This is supposed to be fast. We have a really performant system. We built it with really high quality tech, and as I'll show you in a second, or Monica can attest, it's just very fast. Everything's in one place, and you don't have to search for things. It's not a filing cabinet like most EHRs. It's a full user flow from left to right. So we talk about it like doing one gesture design. And so when you're making a single gesture, like clicking on a patient, we anticipate all of the next things you might want to do. You'll want to communicate, you'll want to chart, you'll want to create a lab, or you know, just make a task item to that patient. So we make it so that every single click means something, and that we anticipate all the rest of what your workflow would be.
Great.
I'm going to call the flavor the best vanilla bean you've ever had with sprinkles on top, because it's pure and simple. Like, it's not bells and whistles. It's not like, ooh, look at this. It just works, guys. Like, that's what we need. We just need fast and efficient and get the job done, right? This is why we do DPC, is because we don't play fluff, right? So we just need the easy, get the job done, tell my patient what they need to do, get my charting done so that I don't have to waste all my time on it, but get information to and where it needs to go efficiently. And that's what Quickr does.
Apparently you're not from the East Coast, because people on the East Coast love their fluff. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I like fluff when I'm like at a 5-star resort, like that kind of fluff I'm cool with. But fluff that makes my work harder for me,
I agree.
Not cool, right? Especially as a DPC, like for those that are just starting, it can be overwhelming, the number of softwares that are available to you and the number of softwares that you need to make your life easier, right? When you have 25 patients, fine, you can scan in all of your forms. That's fine. You don't have to do those things. But as you grow, you don't want to do those things anymore, right? And so this is how Elation, basically Quickr is going to replace Elation, Spruce, Zentake, and one other software that we use on the backside to make our processes easier, right? And so, but every time you have another piece of something on top, it just sets you up for A, somebody doesn't know how to use it, or B, you're paying more money for it, or C, it stops working, and then your process is ruined. And so by dumbing down those processes into one software and paying one bill as opposed to 4, I'm here for it, especially for training. Like every time I bring on a new provider, it's like, well, this is how you do this, but the fax machine in Elation doesn't work that well. So sometimes you have to fax through Spruce. And so it's just things on top of top. And so it's just give me something that works, right? Let me do my job, which is taking care of human beings. And that's what Quickr does.
Love it. We got another question come through from EA. So this can only be used on desktop. Do you want to speak to that real quick?
Yeah, so the Chrome extension can be used on any mobile, on any browser where Chrome is an option. So we're specifically using Chrome. That can be used on any browser, on any sort of desktop, or we see people on iPads using it as well. The actual EHR is desktop and mobile, so you can access the EHR from any computer or mobile device where you have access to a browser.
I may just not be smart enough to use it on my iPad, so I might need a little tech help there. But
cool. Well, let's jump in. I'd love to see what makes the application, the HR, what is included, and like maybe just a quick run through. Spend 5 minutes on it and see if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the EHR. I won't I'll save a full demo for everybody who wants to come and sign up, and I'll spend some time getting to know everybody's clinic. But on the left-hand side, you've got calendars, patient lists, or inbox. So you'll have your patients, external contacts, internal communications here, your drafts, and your to-dos. To-dos can be attached to every single item in a chart. So you can click on a message, add a to-do item, assign it to a specific provider, and send it off. And then you'll be able to review all of those task managements, all of those tasks. Then you have the patient list here, your chronological record. This is anything from your visit notes, labs, prescriptions, and intake forms. Then you've got your messages here, secure, SMS, and internal. And then on the right-hand side, you've got where you chart and put your visit notes. We do dot phrases, so you can customize it to your heart's content. And then the Hint integration, we're really excited about this. It's a one-click. You integrate in with Hint, and your full Hint patient list populates over here on the left-hand side. If this is an inactive patient, but if I were to click on this, it would move over here to a Hint tab, specifically to that patient's profile. So we're trying to, like Monica said, put everything in the same place, make it super simple for people to use. We want it to be really intuitive. What you see is what you get, and you get it served really fast.
Love it. And it looks clean. It's a nice view. And yeah, that inactive Hint membership, that's just because this is a demo account, and that's why we're not seeing it. It would otherwise show active there. Great. Well, I think we have maybe one other question in here. Someone about a recording. Cool. We'll be good on that front. Yeah, all of our live streams are available on your preferred platform. You can always continue to watch them, come back to them, and they also live on those platforms, as well as we typically send out a quick recap if you missed it, so you can check that out there. Any lasting ideas or thoughts before we kind of wrap this up today?
Yeah, one quick note for me is that we've learned the Spruce and Elation systems very well, and so it's really easy for us to migrate somebody over from Elation, Spruce, and Hint over into Quickr. We're able to pull all of the records pretty quickly from Elation, all of the chats from Spruce, and populate the patient lists from Hint. And so after the demo, we can spin somebody up really fast to give them a look at what their practice would look like if it's done quicker.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit more about either the price and also, how about startups, new DPCs that are getting started? Is this a good option for them?
Yeah, super. It's a great option, mainly because a lot of, like Monica said, it's pretty complicated space out there with all of the tech, and so it grows well with you. It's very simple at first, and then as you grow, it stays very simple. So the price, it's $375 per user per month, and we do work with freshly started clinics. We have a referral from Monica, who's going to be spinning up quickly here, and in her first few months, we're going to be charging her a really small fee just so that she can grow her user base while using Quickr.
Cool. Well, yeah, if you want to learn more or check out a bit more about the embedded partnership, head over to hint.com/ecosystem/Quickr. Our ecosystem is also a great place to learn about all of our different marketing partners, different tools and solutions that you can use in your direct primary care practice to grow and be more efficient in what you do. And we are really excited to have you on board. Looking forward to some early successes and growing together. And so thank you so much, Monica and Adam, for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All.